Yeah, we have quite the journey ahead of us.
And I haven't started my journey yet, so I'm very excited.
Why don't we help Cory join us, because our next bottle is the one that he has, is one of the ones he has. This is a Talisker 8-year-old, Old Particular independent bottler.
I
one
do
of
have that.
215 bottles from a refilled hogshead, and it is 59% alcohol.
I love how you bottled these up for us, Andrew.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. Not only bottled it, but delivered it, sanitized the bottles, wore gloves and a mask, and in this day and age, that's clutch.
Yeah. And I got to see Andrew from a safe distance, which was lovely.
It was nice to see you all this morning. It was very, very nice to see you all.
Yeah, and labeled the little bottles. I love that they're labeled. Now, this comes up a lot. I see a lot of Old Particular. Is that I guess they're a bottler, right?
They're an independent bottler. So their father, Douglas Lang, was a rep after the war and for an American company that was buying them. And then he started buying them for himself and formed this company and collected just a large amount of casks from all of these distilleries. And his sons kind of split the company. So there's two Langs. There's a Hunter Lang and a Douglas Lang company, and they kind of have independent bottlers. Old Malt cask, which we've had a bunch of, that's from the Hunter Lang side, and Old Particulars from the Douglas Lang side.
So it's basically just a bottler. So the quality would vary wildly, and there's all sorts of different scotches that you would get from them.
Right, but like the Scotch Malt Whisky Society, they have good contacts at all the distilleries, and they can go in, they sample some casks that are available for purchase, and they pick good ones, and they'll sit on them and age them, or take other ones and blend them together. Like Big Pete is a blended malt, or the vatted malt. I'm sorry, I don't want to upset them.
Somewhere someone is calling our malt vatted and not peated.
I think officially
peated and not mixed, blended, and I don't know.
The rules are that it's not from a single malting, so it has to be called a blended whiskey. They would prefer a vatted whiskey.
Really, I don't think we've talked about that before on the show, that they specifically preferred, or everybody's like, no, this is a vatted whiskey, not a blended whiskey.
Well, some of the podcasts or the Instagram videos that I've watched with from the Douglas Lang company, where they're talking about it, he's vatted, putting different malts in a single vat, so it's all malt whiskey, but it's we had some grain.
But that's what they call blended whiskeys. And is that to base? Is that? I love whiskey, and I don't want to disparage anyone, but that does kind of seem like they're just kind of coming up with a bit of a spin. Like, no, it's not blended, it's vatted, right? Is that kind of true?
Well, I think they would also say, well, the distilleries themselves should be calling it instead of a single malt, it should be a vatted malt, because they're taking multiple casks from that single distillery and putting them together. So it could be a single vatted malt instead of a single malt. The things we're having today are mostly single. Well, there's two single casks, and there's the Askaig, which is vatted. I believe just because of the number of bottles they put out. No. Yeah.
So I guess if you think of a blended whiskey, you're thinking of more of most people associate that with a lower end whiskey that's that has a very standardized flavor. Whereas I guess vatted to me kind of makes me think of something that's more curated. And it's like we are alchemically putting these flavors together to make something,
right,
special.
Yes. Well, they can't call it a malt at all if it's got grain whiskey in it. And most of the blends that you have out there will have some grain whiskey in it. And grain doesn't have the same kind of rich flavor that the malt brings to it. And I'm talking a bunch, and I've made a mistake. Not all of them are from Islay. This Talisker is actually from the Isle of Skye, so I apologize.
Hey. Nice.
But it's
from a vat in the Isle of Skye.
This is the Isle of Skye.
I'm just gonna.
For me, the smell is compared to the last one. It's like someone took a high pass filter. A little filter.
Took it on the low end, right?
This has a lot of
floral
sweetness
notes
to it.
Sweetness.
It has a lot of treble.
Yeah, this is not. This is more okay. So this isn't like Moria. This is more like a Lothlorien. That's. I'm smelling a lot of flowers, a lot of trees. This is like
Yeah,
you know.
that's an unusual
Something-
aroma for a bourbon cask. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Is actually, it gives me Oh, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, I get this feeling of being on the seashore, just like picking up stones that have been eroded by the water, and drinking scotch, obviously.
So I feel like I've walked into a marble, brightly lit library, but it just has very old books.
Oh.
So
Oh my
you get
God.
those old page smells, but it's very clean.
Yeah, I
And
definitely get.
Are they
yeah.
forbidden? Is it forbidden
that.
knowledge?
It maybe in 10 years will be.
They've gone to the forbidden zone.
Yeah, that's funny. I just get like a big open outside space, like you know, like it's not like the forest of Lothlorien. It's like a nice meadow, an open meadow where you can see the sun out there. But I do
kinda get like
definitely, I do definitely see the ocean. I can smell that.
Some saddle leather, maybe.
It's also, has anyone tasted it yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
On the tongue. The way it hits, the initial impact is like poof.
Yeah, it attacks you, and then
Yeah.
So also like music, like there's a lower threshold, but that attack is pretty high.
Yeah, it's like a compressor. There's some attack and then release.
And
We
then
do
release-
talk about we have on the show before talked about attack and sustain and release, because that is like the, you know, the finish is like the release, and it is very much like a musical, a good analogy, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
It's got a strong attack, but it's nice gentle sustain and release.
This is the first whiskey I've had since December.
Ah, Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers.
Let's tell you.
Cheers.
Mhm.
Clink.
Nice light color.
Oh,
Yeah, I like this a lot. Both of these have been really good.
This is Talisker.
This is Talisker.
Oh,
I
and
might-
it's 8 years old. So is it a younger whiskey?
It is younger. The peated whiskeys, the longer they mature in the cask, the more of the phenols come off. So if you want a high peat flavor, you're probably looking at a young whiskey. Somewhere between 5 and 10 years old is kind of optimal for them.
I'm gonna put some science in this.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Some
going
science
to.
it?
I'm gonna science it.
Science.
All right, I'm gonna science it with you.
Science time.
One drop.
Huh. It definitely opens it up. There's a bit. I feel like there's more of that floral smell.
Oh yeah, it's like the filter is being turned.
Yeah.
It's like you're taking this cutoff filter and I'm opening her up. It's literally a cutoff filter. And I'm going.
This is what happens when you're with gearheads, musicians, and nerds.
How long will it be till we have like dials to like alter something in a virtual reality where there's flavor? It's like, let's put a little more saltiness in that and just like whoop, and oh, that's better. Like, how long till?
7 years.
Oh,
7
thanks,
years.
years.
thanks, Cory.
We've actually ran the numbers. We've done the math, and our
7
engineers at See No Evil headquarters have decided 7 years.
Whoa.
The attack is less. It feels
Yes.
much gentler now, much gentler.
Although
I-
there's more heat in the back end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A little bit of a bite there at the
something-
end.
Something like caramel or something like a
Almost, yeah, there's a light
oily
toffiness.
something.
A toffee or
Yeah, I'm feeling quite a bit of burn on the end. Like
Yeah.
it's weird how the beginning is like, hey, and then the end is like, now I'm cutting you.
So now you've picked up one of the books and you've started reading it and you're just kind of lost and hours have gone by because you were just reading this tome.
I like it with the science, but I like it more without the science.
I think I like it better without.
I think I like it without the science as well.
Yeah.
Oh, the attack's gone away now. Yeah.
But it comes
But
in the finish. Boy, oh
science
boy,
is
that's
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I love how it can just that tiniest of additions. You know, that little drop of water can just
Yeah.
completely shift it.
I think that really lends to the craftsmanship of that there's something that has so much balance to it that one little thing can just change it that much.
Yeah. And also sort of proves that there's a misconception about adding water to expensive scotch. I feel like a lot of people have poo-pooed that and like, it's expensive scotch, don't you dare tamper with the formula. But like a little bit of water opens it up. It's really nice.
I mean,
Sometimes.
yeah. Sometimes a little bit of water will make a very different scotch.
Which I will still poo-poo anyone putting an ice cube in expensive scotch. That person should be tackled and their scotch should be taken from them. But,
that's absurd.
But if you want to put a drop of water in your scotch, then I applaud you.
Tackled or jailed?
I feel like I'm like Ron Swanson now. I applaud you.
I applaud you.
I've been watching Parks and Rec because I haven't seen it before. So
you've never seen it? So are you enjoying it?
I've actually never seen it.
I'm loving it. It's so good. This is the best time. This is the best time to watch it because it's all about optimism in politics, and it's a really good good show to watch.
And the characters are just fantastic.
First season, you have to get through it. It's not that great.
Yeah.
But
after
that
second season, it found its legs.
It lasted 7 seasons?
I don't know. I think 6, maybe. I don't know. I'm on season 5 now, so.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good throughout, with the exception of the first season. Whereas like The Office was tough the first season, and then it got really good until about mid-season 6 or 7, and after Steve Carell left, then it was like tough to recover from.
Although I do like some of those story arcs.
I like Robert California.
Yes, Robert California is an amazing character. I could have done without all the Andy Bernard stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and season 1 of Parks and Rec is not horrible. It's just it's not as good as the other seasons. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah. I've only seen season 1.
What?
You need to move on, man.
I know.
Yeah,
I did try to start watching it when it first came out, but because I was like oversaturated with The Office, I was like, I don't really need more of this style of. So it's nice to watch it now that there's been some time has passed.